What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to ECL. We're jumping on over to South America as we're in towards the third out of four games today. We had Asia, I think, a little bit earlier today. Then we jumped towards EU. I was just on that with Scriv. Had a pretty grueling three-map affair there with Zertasty taking on 3D Max. Now I'm jumping over towards South America alongside Paladin. We were on earlier today as well on a different tournament. Now we're back. Brother, how have you been? All right, fair enough. We'll wait for you to unmute, and then we'll carry on. But we do have some more Counter-Strike. As you can see, bottom left, we've got Fluxo taking on Team Solid in this one. Should be a pretty spicy game. We had a couple of choices on where we could have gone. There was the world, and at least it was scheduled that MIBR were going to be playing, but of course, those guys pretty busy at the moment with other tournaments, those of which you'll know, of course, that are Cologne. So we're jumping over towards Fluxo Team Solid, and this one should actually be pretty cool. Solid, of course, aside who I guess recently were making a little bit of kind of waves for themselves, aside qualifying towards lands, which even that was relatively shocking if we're pretty honest, right? Because they're not a side that are always seen at that top level. Fluxo on the other side as well are a side who on paper have a really decent side, but performances have been sort of up and down.
Yeah, I mean it's not the results that you would hope to have if you're Fluxo. I mean, this is a team that is expecting to go deep in tournaments, but just haven't been able to. They made a change, removing Che and adding Kai, which for me is a major downgrade. I think Che has done a lot of really good work for this Fluxo roster, and I really do think that Kai, I mean, we all know the conversation around this guy and what was being brought up around the space when he was on Furia. But yeah, we'll continue to develop that conversation and whatnot. We have the two rosters for you, and I believe because of roster lock rules, both Kai and DRG will not debut for both Fluxo and Solid, unless I'm mistaken. I hope we'll get to actually see in the server if that comes to be, but regardless, I think that both of these teams, if they are playing with their former lineup, will all be very undermined or underhanded in terms of the actual matchup, considering they won't have their official fifth.
Yeah, it does feel. I think the Che one in particular does feel kind of wild because I've caught this Fluxo side a couple of times over the last couple of months, and honestly, both times he's been pretty good. So I don't really know where Kai is a sort of direct upgrade. I know obviously had that stint in the main team with Furia, didn't go well. Let's not beat around the bush there. It was pretty rough. Even at his time on towards the academy roster, and the same sort of vibe there where unfortunately there was not a hell of a lot to offer up for him. So I look at this and say, what's the idea behind this? So Fury Academy before Fury main team, a Pain Academy before that, and then before that, it's a variety of very, very low tier kind of domestic teams who would never really be in the conversation of a Fluxo. So definitely feels like a big decision for me to be dropping Trey for Kai. Like you said, not 100% sure he's going to be playing in this one. On the other side, though, I don't really hate the DRG pickup for Solid. I think he's a guy who's got obviously fairly okay amount of experience. He's somebody who's been around the scene for kind of a while. And for Team Solid, I think who are in a bit of a weird space. They're not really as competitive as they probably should be or maybe want to be. And maybe his experience might be what they need to just try and find better ways of actually doing the simple things probably outside of the server, right? More than in the server itself in terms of maybe mechanics, but actually just like the way in which you prac and strats you can bring to the table. These small sort of things that can massively help a team.
Yeah, they're in a very interesting spot right now because they qualified to the close qualifier for the RMR. Mm-hmm. They're going to attend the regional championships with Rez later on. So I'm sure in their minds thinking, we've got two of the biggest tournaments probably in our organization's entire tenure. Let's try to bring in some experience to boost our odds and maybe try to go as deep as possible in these tournaments. If they can get an RMR qualification, that's huge, right? So
sure.
Having DRG and Ale and on this team who have had boatloads of experience is really huge. And then you throw in the kind of experience that Destiny has learned after playing so long on Red Canids. You have a very exciting roster that could potentially make some waves if there are some of these favorites that are caught sleeping with these new roster moves. So I'm hoping to see this solid team continue to improve because they definitely showed in a lot of circuits that they have promise, but they haven't been actually been able to kind of put their money where their mouth is. And so I'd hope that these changes do actually extend for themselves. But I think compared to Fluxo, we're in two very different spots. For Solid, it's like great. This is a move to like bring them up to another level where they're starting to get competitive against the best Brazilian sides. But for the Fluxo side, it's like they're doing this because they need to start winning, like winning to qualify to lands on a regular basis, and it's just not happening right now. It's just not. So we'll bring up the groups just to again continue to contextualize what's going on here and where Fluxo and Solid are. Before the move even happened, Fluxo are 8-0. So I mean, they're sitting really, really well right now, and surprisingly, Team Solid haven't really been able to make the waves that we've been hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it as well, I think for Fluxo, this is probably a game that, even though Team Solid have had, as you mentioned, the close calls qualifier and that res qualifier, I would be very surprised if Fluxo don't 2-0 this, right, and don't continue this flawless streak. If they are to do that, it actually must have been quite an interesting spot. The joint first then, alongside the likes of Pain, maybe even alongside the likes of Red Cannon, depending on how their game goes as well, and ahead of teams like MIBR, like Crew, which is already pretty damn solid. Especially the MIBR one in particular. Obviously, they picked up a game in which they went 1-for-1, or a series in which they went 1-for-1. So I think for me, this is pretty interesting because obviously we know in the way this format sort of works as well, having that preferential seeding going later down the line is absolutely massive. You avoid teams like Pain and like Red Cannons. Of course, Red Cannons with their changes recently seem to be a team that everybody is definitely scared about domestically. So I think, with what they're doing so far, you get to prolong how, the time which you have to face off those sort of sides. It can potentially mean, an upset earlier in the line. You avoid them completely. Could even mean you getting that chance at a Pro League spot, right? These small little things, having a good start to the season like this and ending it on a high note could be massive. And honestly, Fluxo do look pretty good. I've caught them twice now, I think, in SA ECL. Both times picking up 2-0s, and both times actually pretty handedly as well. So in towards this game, I'm expecting more of the same.
Yeah, I don't think they've played the kind of titans in the league just yet. Like your Pains, Imperial, IBR, those are still yet to come. So we don't really know where they lie in the hierarchy as far as the ECL season goes. But for the most part right now, they're taking care of business, and that's, I think, what the most important thing is, right? It's just that they're handling opponents that they should be handling. There are no flubbed best of ones any which way, which has happened across South America and North America for various teams. As you saw there, Imperial 4-4 right now after struggling against Case of all rosters. So, yeah, definitely a lot to be desired. But we'll jump into the veto, at least for the first best of one between Fluxo and Solid, and we're gonna end on Mirage. This is a map that Fluxo have been trying to add into their pool a lot more recently, and I think they do a lot of good work here when you especially allow for Lukowski to be let off the leash, and Zevi starts to get a little bit more comfortable. Of course, when you think about his time on the Pain roster, Mirage was the map to do it. So yeah, everything you could ask for Fluxo as far as an opening map is concerned.
It's true. I think this Mirage, I mean, it is just the litmus test. I always put it, right? Everybody knows how to play it. There's nothing ever different on it. When you're looking towards this map, this is where we get to see maybe what we get potentially out of Team Solid in terms of how can they actually compete with this side. This is where you get, there's nothing new on this map ever. There's nothing where you ever get to see kind of these little gimmicks that can find you a lot of rounds early doors. So, even recently I've been seeing a lot more gimmicks in towards Anubis. I don't know if you saw one recently, but they found a way. I think it was Nico was playing camera back mid, that like the box spot, the head glitch angle that everybody sits in. You can run, so the normal boost on wood that looks towards mid, right? You can run boost somebody on top of that, so third man up there, and the orb can see all the way through to mid. You can't see them. Like, that's some nerdy stuff that you still get on a map like Anubis, even though it's been in the pool for like a year. Mirage, it's not the case. The only thing that's changed is like they added a bench like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Didn't make a grand difference, in all honesty, towards that map. And that's when maybe teams can come in towards this sort of confidence. This is a map in which if Fluxo starts slowly, start badly, potentially things can go awry when maybe Team Solid have an individual or two that just pop off, and before you know it, you're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Kitty player to watch as well, and that being Art, because I spoke about the rest of this roster. Art, to me, is the enigma when it comes to Fluxo. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. And there was this huge question mark once he got exiled from Furia, and you're thinking, can he make it work with the new roster? And I think, for the most part, the answer is I guess. But I think the main point about the conversation surrounding Art is his individual form. individually, he is getting a lot more confident in making these brazen plays, very akin to his earlier time in Furia, and it's been working out very well. I mean, rating-wise, as a captain, he's looking very solid. And to me, that's what makes this Fluxo team exciting. You have the explosiveness of Lukowski and Zevi and the occasional pop-up performances from players like Nix and Che, but Art to me is the linchpin of excitement when it comes to Fluxo. And I hope we get to see more of that today, especially against a roster like Solid that are kind of still going through their own teething issues as an up-and-coming South American roster. This is the time where I think Art does his best work. So It's going to be an exciting one for sure.
Yeah, another guy that I always throw out when I watch is Lukowski, right? This guy is so talented. The last 2 ESL games, I've called him both times. He ended like the I guess both maps the series in a sense of like a 1.6 rating. So he does farm when he gets going. I think especially against sides that the sort of Fluxo are expected to win, he seems to have his sort of individual prowess. Of course, we've bigged up Fluxo quite a lot. And I don't think it's going to be too much of a surprise when you see our predictions coming through. We're both leaning heavily in favor of Fluxo. Great side. We know, flawless so far, and the expectations they remain flawless here today. They should take a 2-0. And I think even as well, if we're being completely honest, if they were to drop a map here at all in a sense, or a series, I guess, if you see it as best of ones on their own, that would be seen as a real bad thing from them. There's no disrespect to Team Solid because they actually have been playing some good Counter-Strike, but Fluxo, with the name value they have on paper, they should be going in towards this game with utmost confidence and taking it with confidence too.
Yeah, every best of one matters, right? I mean, you want to stay, as you said, at the top end of the group stage as much as possible. Avoid as many BO3s as possible because I'll tell you what, that playoffs bracket is grueling. I mean, all of these teams play each other so often. Every best of 3 is down to the wire at least at the top level with your like Pains, Red Cannons, and MIBR in the lot. So it's going to be a tribulating one. You don't want to be on that lower bracket. You don't want to have to play every single day leading up to a potential finals run. So get it all out of the way. Just confirm everything. Give every opponent with the utmost amount of respect and just collect your wins the way you can. So if I'm Fluxo, I'm kind of thinking of myself as the lower end of the top tier, and with that you could probably eke out an upper bracket spot, and that means that you have to confirm this win right here today against Solid 2-0 without a doubt. So I'm hoping that they come in with that game plan. Yeah,
and especially as well on the other side where for all the other teams around them, teams like Pain and Red Cannons, they will be picking up wins against these sort of sides, right? Because they should be, right? And I think they're both sides that we would come into series like them. And if Fluxo, if they see themselves and want to be seen alongside, I guess, for the rest of us, you can have the confidence about seeing yourselves as a top ECL team, right? But, you have to kind of earn our trust and our sort of prospects. And to do so, you have to beat teams like Team Solid quite cleanly, right? There's no two ways about it. That's what you start to say, and we can agree and say, yeah, you guys deserve that mantle be seeing as actually one of the upper echelon teams. And so far, they've been doing that, right? So I think it's just about continuing that, making sure, like you mentioned, going in towards playoffs, which can be cutthroat, that you give yourself the best chance, avoiding the best teams, give yourself a bit of, longevity, I guess, in what can be a really, really tough system all in all. It seems like we're just missing one player before we head underway in towards the game, so that we can get things started as soon as, of course, with our first map being that old Mirage. On paper, looks like a pretty good map for Fluxo. Last time I cast them, they played it, they won it with relative ease. I think off the top of my head, it was like a 13-5. So it was pretty easy for them. Lucas did a very, very good game. Also got to see Zevi really look quite comfortable as well. So yeah, for me, I look at this and I wonder maybe what Team Solid have kind of taken. But currently they're on a 5-map winning streak and taking out some decent sides, including Team Solid within there in, I'm just looking now, Circuito Estadul Fergie. Whatever that is.
Yeah, that's the domestic tournament. The LAN qualifier. I think they have like a LAN final. Hey. That was the qualifier for that, which had a ton of top South American teams. So yeah, exciting stuff. And we will hop into Mirage in a little bit, but we're going to take a short break to get all the players in the server. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with map 1 of this best of 1 series.
Welcome back. So we're going to be heading underway in towards the game, and we know that for a fact. Everyone's in the server. The knife round has begun, which basically confirms, of course, who's going to be starting where. As it is best of ones, we've got to kind of figure that thing out, and we're getting underway in towards our first map. It is Mirage for those who missed us in the pre-show, so that's where we're going to be heading in this one. And yeah, Mirage. I mean, the great litmus test. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. All these guys would have been. I mean, they were played thousands of times in some sort of capacity, whether it was FPL. Or officials. So let's get things underway. Knife round's pretty important too, because this is the second most CT-sided map in the pool.
Yeah, hard to imagine that this map is as CT-sided as it is, but I guess that's just the way T-sides are right now in Counter-Strike. It feels like they're hard to come by. Or at least you've got to earn them a little bit more. But we're into that pistol. Solid, very keen on leaning towards his B bomb site straight away. You've got a smoke, presumably for market window, and a Molotov for deep van, and you can just explode onto that site. I would have liked an extra flashbang here too, but it'll have to do in this situation. They're just waiting around for any aggression, and against a roster like Fluxo, I'm not saying that this is a bad call by any means, because it is pretty much essential to this CT side.
Yeah. For now, though, very, very quiet. A timid start. Let me get out of this one. Both sides showing each other, a hell of a lot of respect, if we're being completely honest. Not a hell of a lot to work with, either. Kalzi, jump peeking. Molotov, of course, waiting to be used in the hands of Nyx. Speaking of it, dropping in towards short. And that's where maybe can pounce for us first, and he will.
Well, now straight into Lukowski's arms, and he can't find anything with the dual Berettas. Now, Nyx caught between a rock and a hard place. Shocking he even gets one there, leaving it into an even keel. Now just a 1v3 for LCM, and he can't do anything. And the scoreboard does not, you folks. Kai is in the server, gets himself a double, as well as DRG. So a lot to be excited about now, all of a sudden in this game. You know, just having these new additions for both of these sides. We basically get to see how they fare with these new players and what they can add to the lineup now that they're on full display here.
No, it's true. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what they can bring to the table and actually how it changes this team. Because, you know, for me with Fluxo, I didn't think for the most part that they were in sort of desperate need of changes. They weren't losing, you know, to teams on a consistent basis, the teams that they should be beating, which I always think is one of the main ways in which you see, or one of the main reasons you see teams make changes. So for Fluxo, for me, they felt like they were in an okay spot where they, you know, ECL was a pretty good opportunity for them to make the way towards Pro League and this, that, and the other. So they had a change sort of out of nowhere, and now I'm waiting to see why. Art gets caught on aggro. Zevi, Trey, sticks around for a second, does a lot of damage, but also takes a fair chunk himself.
Double smoke miscom there, but it works out, I guess, because they get away with it. And then Zevi re-aggresses. Very odd turn of events there from Fluxo. Lukowski's going to get aggressive. Destiny should have his number every day of the week, and this is the kind of double-edged sword that comes with Fluxo when you cast them, right? It's that over-aggression can sometimes completely surprise the opponents, and other times when it is noticed, it can really put them into some sticky scenarios in many even spots. And now you've got a 2v2 where both Nyx and Kai are on polar opposite ends of the map. Solid have got to figure out this together, try to link up and just trade it effectively, bring it down to a 1v1.
Yeah, not going to be easy either, if I'm being completely honest. Destiny, already got 2 to his name though. Moving their way forward. Nyx playing that corner angle on bench. Bit of a tough one to clear this as well. A lot of times he gets overlooked because you look towards the left-hand side of bench if we're the one sitting at bench, or right side if you're swinging out from short. Especially if they drop on towards sight. Take a bit of time for them to maneuver and clear this. Gonna have to make a bit of noise about it. Still, time is ticking. 15 seconds, fellas. Gotta make a move. Molotov bounces front bench. So Nick's is not cleared here. And he swings out for the second. Beautiful work. DRG will fall again. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, the Molotov, you know, obviously goes towards back of pillar, but they just don't even really hold for bench properly. You've got to make a decision. If you're going to molly back sight like that to get that pillar, or I guess front pillar in a way, you've got to hold bench. There's such a common angle to hold in some way. They don't, and he gets away with 2. Brilliant work from Nyx on a 2-0 start for Fluxo. That's all we can really ask for.
Yeah, a bit of an odd situation there for Solid. I guess that's some of the teething issues that I was speaking about in the pre-show. We'll see whether or not they want to continue to pressure this B bomb site. They're trying to get themselves up close and personal as quickly as possible, straight into Nyx yet again. But this time around, he only has an MP9 and he's all alone, fully blind. Beautiful work there from DRG, and even better shot there from Ale. Zevi will find to pull one back into the 4v4, but a B bomb site retake, Neo, that's always going to be a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? At least they've got the rifles for it, but it's not going to help with Zevi falling early. It's going to make things, yeah, pretty awkward. I think you're right. You got to call it. They're out of it. Art's called it already off, and that will be that. Pretty simple, pretty effective. They're getting out of there. The good thing is, though, no matter what the economy is like, with 3 staying alive, in some way you can buy back in towards the next. So that is, I think, probably one of the main things. That's really all we'll care about here. Getting a full investment back in towards the next round. A couple of drops will come through, especially from Lukowski. You know, he's got plenty of cash left over. So it's fine. Maybe somebody has to take a bit of a hit in towards the likes of an MP9 if you want a bit more util. Well, I don't think Fluxo will be too worried. The first true gun round that comes through from Team Solid is pretty effective. Only the 1 casualty. I don't think they have any complaints about that one.
Yeah, I mean, that is just textbook B execution there from Solid, and it works splendidly. There's no way that Nyx can really do anything there. Even if he does get one, it's just very difficult, even on a 4v5, to try and retake that bomb site. So many nooks and crannies that you've got to clear out. So many crossfires that can be established. So Solid find a weakness and find a way to exploit it as well. This time, Lukowski will be there to help out his comrade, as Solid now turn to another set piece, this time on the A-bomb site.
Oh, waiting for the fight as well, but smoke in his face going to make life very difficult. They don't clear Kai. 1 for him. For a second, he does stay alive for longer than I thought, but Destiny and DRG will combine. Oh, and then, just as I say that, Lukowski falling. That's the site open.
Zevi is trying to find a gun in the smoke. Luckily, Nyx in the meantime is finding one back, and he never finds a gun. completely empty-handed, thrusts Nix into the clutch, and he is tagged so much in that Molotov. Solid know every step that he's making alongside CT that it's an easy track from Destiny. What an odd round from Fluxo. Even though that they were able to get the necessary frags to potentially win that round, they look kind of red-faced at the tail end of it.
Yeah, Zevi just knife out, blindly wandering around. It's like, what is bro doing? He's looking for that gun, he can just never find it. Very awkward, then goes back towards jungle, gets caught, and the round done. Team solid. Get a second. Not only that, of course, we'll get probably a freebie of a round. Economy broken. Over towards Fluxo. Look at this call. Oh my god, they're walking above them. They spotted all of them. The jump, the jump scare bit, I say. Hang on a moment. 2v2. Now done 2v1. Thankfully, DRG shows his experience, but for a moment that was awkward.
Yeah, holy hell. Works out, but I mean, a ton of damage onto the solid side. You're thinking that would do some serious economic damage, but not really. You've still got plenty of cash to splash. LCM decides to upgrade to the AWP. Zevi on the other end will have his big sniper as well. But so far, Solid showing that they are not going to go down without a fight here in this map of Mirage. Finding ways to punish errors of Fluxo. Playing some very smart CS, simple CS, just set piece after set piece. And so far, Fluxo have not been able to get that final blow and actually put a stop to this. So Solid are going to rinse and repeat, go for another A execution. It's up to Fluxo to try and deal with this in this second bout.
Yeah, it's true. Pretty impressed with what I'm seeing from Team Solid, though. And so far, that previous round, I'm not going to read too heavily in towards that one. A little bit rogue, a little weird, but in the actual gun rounds from Team Solid, they've been pretty good. They look, you know, more than happy to take fights. They're playing quite simple XQs like you mentioned, but they're working. And there we go, another prime example. Destiny, GBB will combine. LCM going to get one of his own as well towards Kai. 2 versus 2 ensues. But nice shot from Zevi with the AWP. When he gets the AWP bound, he starts hitting his shots. Difficult to stop. And Destiny thrust into a tough 1v2. There's a gap on that smoke, but nothing going to rise from it. The bomb dropped too in a less than adequate position.
Yeah, very smart from Zevi to move back to chair, knowing that really the only point of attack that Destiny can win this clutch in is to find that Alpert. And with that, Destiny has to reset the situation. He'll pick up the C4, tries to deploy it as soon as possible, but I mean, easy aware of how close Nyx is. That B anchor making such a sizable rotation. Oh, Nyx doesn't even bite. He gives it up, but Zevi is there. That was never going to be a one round for Destiny. And Fluxo handled business in the 2v1. Great round from Kai, mind you.
Counter-terrorists win.
Destiny. Like he's going to be first to fight. Actually going to be GBB falling. Oh, nice opener. Oh, got the right idea. Zevi, what have you got for us? Got a spotted it. An uncharacteristic miss from him. Next time I'm asking. Quick flick. Destiny falls. Big find. To give Fluxo the man advantage. DRG, LCM, Harley with a lot to do. And not a hell of a lot to work with too, because they don't really gain any information from their fights taken in towards mid. There's an alt player and a short player. And then now they're probably questioning, where do we go from here?
Aggression from Fluxo down apartments will notify that this A play is coming sooner rather than later. They've got to scamper their way back. Zevi's making the rotation into CT. Art is also available from Khan. But it's all about when Solid want to pounce. I think Zevi spotted out at least one player at this point. Flashes are good to get them onto the site. The bomb should be able to get planted, but how do they hold on to this post plant? They're all going to be stuck on the site itself. Now it's time for that sniper to get activated.
Speaking of the devil, he should arise. Zevi, nice find. Ollie falls, LCM will follow, and it might be all done for the RG. Down he goes, and a flawless retake coming through from Fluxo, and that is a brilliant way to set the tone. Just when it felt like potentially Team Solo were going to get going and maybe have something to work with, they immediately have things thrust back in their face. I mean, a bomb plant scoop, but it's not going to be enough to sufficiently buy in towards his next round, so they're going to have to dip in towards, what, just upgraded pistols, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, I'm afraid that is the only option for Solid. Not being able to make these executions work and then going to a little bit more of a contact play. Fluxo find the answer. They find a way to deal with the problem at hand, and it really comes down to Zevi just being in the right time and in the right place. So, great work from him. I think he's had some very weird times on Fluxo. I don't think he's had the very high highs that he had on Pain, but he's slowly starting to learn how to play beyond Big Uzera's leadership. But it's a hard thing to do. We've seen so many different operas across the world, and they have that IGL change. They can't really find their footing, but I'm still very hopeful for Zevi because it's very clear to me that this mechanically is a very exciting prospect.
It's true. I'm with you. Goodbye. Pop flash towards under. Well, they spot 4 out of 5. 1 falls, but at least no gun collected. That's a positive. They kind of can keep hold of that, leaving a window player in charge. Smoke dropped. Of course, with everybody towards under, Nix knows there's a pretty decent chance that we're going to try and pop towards B, get a bomb plant down. You can stop that. That's a big thing. For Solid, in these sort of rounds, we were not expecting anything. A bomb plant's a nice thing to have. It's a bit of a silver lining.
Yeah, they really want to go at Nix here, I guess. But so much utility, or at least enough utility to stall this out. I say that Lukowski's leaving, where that only smoke is left. Again, Nix is left alone. He's going to be tasked with dealing with all 3 of these players. I mean, at least 2, I'd like to think, but yeah, no problem. Sure, it's just pistols, but that's a clean triple kill from Nix. All good in the Fluxo at 5 rounds. Look good now for the CTs.
Yeah, light work from Nix there at the end. No complaints as Fluxo now put themselves in a really strong spot, because we look at it, this Team Solid kind of reinvestment coming through, and if they're unable to make this one work, we're talking about where things can very quickly get out of hand, where Fluxo get to the point of 6, 7 to 3, and I mean, at that point, I don't know. We might potentially already be talking about potentially too little too late. Yes, this is a CT-sided map, but oh my, can't allow Fluxo to snowball like this. Well, they don't. Nix gets caught. Good shot from DRG. That's a brilliant way to settle the nerves on the reinvestment back in the spam. There's damage, but not enough for the kill.
Ozzy up to his antics in ladder room, but GBB on the boost just destroys him and boosts himself up the window on this as the smoke is continuing to let its effects in the middle window. Still a lot to like about this round now for Solid in the 5v3. They've got so much space up connector. It leaves a lot on the shoulders of both Art and Kai. And Kai can't even find one, unfortunately. Which means that, sure, Art is in Palace. Sure, he has a chance to strike, but maybe the name of the game at this point is just to save that weapon.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh, he's not.
Hell no. Hell no. Art gets caught. This has been a pretty awful round to watch, if we're being completely honest. Just so many missed fights by Fluxo in every single way, or misreads as well. At least Zevi hits his, but even still, saving not exactly going to be the easiest thing in the world. They're going to hunt. I don't really blame them either. They've got a couple of bodies that they can worthwhile throw to the potential of getting this AWP. It's not even getting the AWP for themselves, too. It's just start making life awkward towards Fluxo. Do a little run around, but to go the wrong way. But Zevi, you're safe. over towards CT. That'll be the small silver lining of what was a pretty woeful round from Fluxo. Team Solid gonna make this a one-round game. Maybe we were on to something when, you know, I thought for a second Fluxo could be about to spiral. We said this gun round was uber important. Then they find it. And now, pressure right back onto Fluxo. They cannot afford to lose a couple more of these in a row. This is a pretty big swing round too, where both sides, I mean, there's a little bit more money over towards Solid, sure, but they tie this up. They could talk about ending this half in a really positive note. Getting anywhere near 6 rounds on T-side Mirage, pretty happy generally.
Yeah, definitely so. And so far, Solid have shown some good foundations to this T side. They just have to build upon it. They're going to go out this B side straight away. Volley's flashes are good, and they've gotten the opening as well. Ale with a beautiful entry. And Nyx caught in the crossfire between all these smokes. Just can't find the killing blows. He finally does find one, sure. But Destiny has, in the meantime, found another. And that means Nyx, the B anchor, can't even get involved in the rest of this round. Another decisive call from Solid, and absolutely no response from Fluxo. I mean, these flashes are just so well placed.
Yeah. Team Solid. Credit to them. This T side, when it works, it really works, right? I think that's the issue for them. A little bit of inconsistencies that we've seen throughout, but they actually played pretty nice Counter-Strike. Now they'll tie this game up. So if you're going to get caught, AWP dropped, that's that. That also will mean no AWP investment in towards the next. I mean, they really are strapped for cash. And Nyx, you might fall the same soon. He spotted one, but DRG. Brilliant jiggle peek. And only the one casualty coming through from Solid is not a bad round once again. As we saw in towards that last round, a really, really simple one found. This is tough now. Fluxo, it fluctuated in terms of these performances, and it's not a good way to end out this half, because Solid are going to guarantee, well, they should guarantee 6 at the bare minimum. T-side, like I said, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, no question. I mean, at this point, Solid have done the heavy part of this half. Another mid push on the cards for Fluxo, as Art has a flash lined up at top of middle, or 4 top of middle, I should say. Solid will go back to Old Faithful. It's that A execution that has been so kind to them across this half. PvP will make a sound cue. Solid will actually find one, get up the ladder, and get away with an AK. I don't know how the hell he's managed that.
Bomb goes down. Molotov as well. The AWP of LCM, I don't know if he wants to be sticking around here. Briefly, Destiny with that rifle will come through. This is the sort of person you want fighting up close. The shot. Ooh, Nyx punishes Destiny, who labored the Glock and the AWP combo here. Surely they're going to help him out. I don't think you really want an AWP fighting all alone here. Thankfully, the CTs have decided to get out of there, and the AWP will too. Maybe a little bit more expensive than Solid would have wanted, but they will, as the 3 of them, get out of there alive. 2 AKs collected. That isn't bad, though.
No, it isn't at all, but at this point, it's not even about economic damage or having enough money. It's just about confirming that 6. That is all that Fluxo have to play with. Solid have shown to me that they are very capable on Mirage. They're showing very simple but very concise takes onto these bomb sites, and sometimes simplicity is king, man. It's tough to kind of say anything else about this Solid roster. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, very true. Very true indeed. Let's see what we've got to work with. If Fluxo can end this 6 AWP, I think they can be relatively happy about it, but Solid, take a 7-5, that'll be a different story. Numbers advantage for the CT side on the 3-2, but they have got the site themselves. One spotted short, and what a fight! Look how he gets caught in the drive-by. Hang on a moment, 2 versus 2 are on. Plant for CT, but they're not holding it. Now they will. Oh, it's not a swing we want to be taken. Art gets his. LCM gonna get tagged and dropped as Art gets a double at the tail end. 6-all is how we end out the half. Fluxo survive what could have been a bit of a bad ending at 7-5, but I don't think Solid are going to be too annoyed with 6 rounds on T side regardless. We're going to have to see whether that's enough, though, in the second half. Alrighty, welcome back. 6-all. It's, yeah, as even as it gets, really, heading in towards this second half. But I think, generally speaking, I don't think Solid are too annoyed with that. 6 rounds, T-side Mirage. It's a pretty good showing, all in all. This pistol will be a pretty good tell, though. What is Fluxo's T-side like? What are Solid looking like on the CT side? It's very easy to get spread thin if you don't know how to play things.
Now an A set piece for Fluxo out the gates. 2 smokes to come through, a flash over the top, and a few Berettas that are going to get very dangerous up close and personal, but LCM will only find one. The bench player is out, but he falls. Destiny now has to step up big, and he can't find really anything beyond those initial 2 kills. 2v2 now between these 2 sides. Bomb plant should be available, but GBB has made his way into the CT spawn. This is starting to get a little bit antsy. He wants to find maybe another kill to shave off before they can get the bomb down. It's a 1v1 in 2 different parts of the site, and unfortunately GBB comes out on the top end of it. Nick's now in a very difficult clutch. Now isn't able to know where Ale is located, and Ale has been in murder hole this whole time.
Not bad. Not bad at all. It's just Solid now. Where we're at for them, unfortunately, as you can see, come back to us, we do have a little bit of a tech pause. So that means I have to change my seating position. I like to lean back over here. But, you know, we head in towards, yeah, you know, JDM and it out here on the cast in the game. Yeah, good start, right? Pistol being taken. Very weird setup there. You can see on the T-sides when they're trying to get that post-spawn setup. It's such an isolated plant, right? Because they actually don't really have any idea if anybody's going to peek out from shore. They don't really know there's a mid-wrap that's come through. Very easily could have made a play, either coming in through under or coming all the way through T-apps, right? So I think the way you look at it, not a good way to play things out at the tail end for, you know, starting in towards the T side for Fluxo. And I think, you know, for me, this felt like a really good map in which maybe Fluxo can flex their muscles a bit. They're a side who obviously will come in towards games like this and see themselves as the better team in sort of 90% of the games they'll play against a side like Solid, and 90% of the maps as well, more or less. But they're just not playing like it. They're not playing like overdogs. They're playing very kind of timid and tepid Counter-Strike, and they're being punished for it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It doesn't necessarily feel like this is the exciting affair that we would kind of have hoped for. But so far, Solid are doing their job. They're finding ways to win, and they're doing it in a very clean manner. Now, Solid have themselves a comfortable buy. Fluxo have gone all in on this round. A real risk to run. But can they find a way to make it work? So far, not really. Nick's down to 6 HP, Art on 72 health, and Lukowski down for the count. A player that we were really hoping to light up the scoreboard, but not so much so far.
GBB could get a second here as well with Art. So Art gets caught. Picked up the AK all for nothing. And now he's down to a double tech 9 with Nick's barely alive. 1 foot in the grave for him, and now he's falling. MP9 at range makes light work of him. AK scooped up 2. 9, which was upgraded to an M4, potentially costing his teammates life, but doesn't matter in the end. Lovely work. AK will then collect at the end. It was close, but AK does get collected. And that will be a 2-round buffer. Honestly, not bad here, is it? Team Solid, not only 2 rounds, should be 3 rounds too. Should be a 9-6, because there won't be too much of a buy here from Fluxo. Fluxo, they're running out of opportunities. Yeah,
Solid now can really lock down the CT side, get much more comfortable in their positions. They're finding answers, and they're finding them quickly. Fluxo on the other end just do not have that same sort of wow factor that makes the theoretical potential of this team exciting. Now, with this complete save, well, not complete save, this very meager purchase, I should say, doesn't have much riding on it. They've done the same stack that Solid did in that first half, but will they give that frag over is the question. LCM spots it out. He knows what's up. He knows what tricks are afoot, and LCM will convert that into a kill into top mid instead.
Kai Gets caught. So does Lucas, the MP9 for a double. Maybe a triple, potentially. Well, another pistol. Zevi seems tempted to fight in the same vein. And it might even end the same way. MP9 at range. In the right hands can be pretty damn scary. Nado come around that corner. Zevi being hunted. And they smell blood in the water. They smell frags coming through. Destiny wants a piece of the pie, and he will get it. 9-6. I can't lie, Paladin. I'm getting pretty worried about Fluxo at the moment. You know, we already kind of mentioned that this is a side who shouldn't really be dropping maps too solid in general, but they're not playing good Counter-Strike basically at all.
No, I'm with you. It is very worrying at this point for Fluxo. It doesn't feel like I'm watching the Fluxo that is really exciting to me. And to be fair, this is their first true test in ECL this season. I'm very interested to see if they can dig themselves out of this one, because as you said, it does feel like this one is slipping away right before our very eyes. Fluxo now leaning towards that B bomb site. They've got the smokes deployed. Here comes that execution. Ollie to take first contact.
Ollie. It's a bit of an off angle, but it actually works quite nicely. Just gonna slink away in towards the smoke. Lukowski gonna get caught. Art. One of his own. Playing the bin angle. LCM will fall. Now maybe a chance to work with. Nade over towards front pillar. Little bit of damage, but the Molotov stops the run out here. So the bomb goes down. That's the main thing. And it might just get a little bit worse as well. GBB gonna get caught. Even DRG with it all to do, but they're both low. One bullet headshot for the both of them. There's the first. He gets tagged as well. Both of them sits 30 and 40 HP respectively. It's just who can spot the other one first. Who hits that first bullet? DRG starts to make a move around. Swing and a fight. He connects on towards Zevi. And a 1v2 clutch. It seems like Solid just cannot lose right now.
Yeah, now you've got the newest addition to Team Solid showing why he's been brought onto this team in the first place. I mean, he's had a quiet game, but impactful kills there from the former Sharks player. Fluxo try an all-out brawl onto that B site, but it's just not pacey enough. There is not enough spacing there to really overwhelm the players on the back of the site. They know exactly what's coming before it could even spiral out of control. The instant rotations are there, crossfires are established, and Fluxo never get that extra kill that they need to comfortably plant onto that bomb site. More just issues arising for Fluxo here, and Team Solid continue to impress.
Oh, he's playing the Neo angle, back triple. Bait your teammates, get a kill, so you get mine afterwards, no matter if you're going to lose. And he will get his. However, Zevi, he'll feel so. There's Lukowski, both dropping. The round looking favorable towards Solid right now. Bomb goes down. Yes, Art finds his. Now in a 2v2. This round flips. Becomes a post plant. But numbers even. So maybe a chance. Grouping up together. Arley. BB going to play and try and play off each other. Kai is low. Art not exactly much healthier. But Arley now thrust into a 1 versus 2. Trying to do what DRG just did. But he can't. This time Art sees it off. And this time, finally, Fluxo win a round.
Gets a little scrappy, but they get it over the line nonetheless. It's just an A contact through that smoke. And even though DRG gets one, you're thinking maybe there's still a little bit to write home here for Solid, but they're just not able to get that extra kill that they need to feel comfortable there. So Fluxo will find themselves that 7th round. It took a little bit of time, but they got there eventually. And now, another issue now is that they've taken some severe casualties along the way. So their money is not solid right now. Pardon the pun, but Fluxo really do have to lock down this round if they want any chance at making this a competitive scoreline.
Destiny on towards Art. It's a good find just as that smoke gets broken open as well. Salanta back. Holding for the swing out. Needs to be careful here. They do drop on towards sight. But he knows there's a real potential of somebody playing in and around Sandwich. Gets caught by the flash. Has to dip back over towards left side con. Arley. Oh, actually going to say he's going to get the kill. But it's actually the AWP. Makes his presence known. Head over towards Firebox. 2v4. This feels very difficult to win right now. Smoke in front of LCM going to make his life difficult. But Arley might just peer through. He Seems tempted. He's holding for the smoke to dissipate. And just as it starts to, he was back over towards Ticket. There's no pressure here on Solid. As long as they don't overextend, they shouldn't lose this. They just got to play off each other. Speaking of, big flank going to come through. And a big find as well for GBB in towards jungle. Only the one casualty. Solid. Find 11.
Yeah, that's a big kill to find for Destiny, and an even more important round locked in from Solid. I spoke about the dangers of losing that round for Fluxo, and you're in a very sticky situation here. Do you want to fully invest? Do you want to half invest here? I mean, they're going to go for the hero AK on Lukowski, but, you know, at this point, I would just give that hero AK to somebody else. Maybe Nyx, maybe Kai. He's just had a stinker of a game. And I hate to say that, because this guy is such a force to be reckoned with on this map specifically, especially on the T side.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but give it up, fella. It's not being your game. Sometimes you just have one of those bad days. I was. Maybe I'll speak to you soon. We'll get his. DRG will fall. He's very low, though. And he will fall eventually. Spam through that smoke. AK, I want to say it is recoverable, but it might actually not be. There it is. Okay, I was actually going to get it. Tap. Successful. Spam is very successful. Oh, no. Just maybe when it felt like there wasn't a chance to work with. They might be having something on the cards here. Oh, I spoke too soon. 4-1. It was never going to happen for Art, was it? Required a monstrous clutch. And that is going to be match point, or I guess match point in this best of one. Two teams from the Mirage has been great.
Oh, yeah. Fluxo now. 5 rounds needed to bring it to overtime, and I don't think that's going to be the case necessarily, because Solid have just shut out Fluxo from this half of play. They've shown that not every win is given on a silver platter. You got to earn some of these, and this newest edition of DRG looks stellar for the side of Solid. I mean, it's not even necessarily the flashiest playing from DRG, but just a very cohesive style from the CT side. On the other end, Fluxo and Kai's edition hasn't been the prettiest at all, really.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, man. What do we do here for Fluxo? They have been just all over the place, haven't they? Really dicey, awkward Counter-Strike, and they've got to go flawless 5 in a row. So I get towards window. Still now, though, creeping in. They've got window control. This is pretty good, but Destiny knows that there's something awry here. Sparty senses the tingling. Ooh, the aim isn't, though. Let's get caught by Lukowski.
Find the kill that he needed, though.
Lukowski get out of there.
will
Can't stick around
find
the flames all
an
too much
entry.
longer. Yeah.
Bit odd. But, oh, dink for DRG. Not the kill, though. Zevi still lives to tell the tale. That means GBB is the only player on this A site. Surely he'll be crunched upon in a matter of moments. And he's got to play the trigger discipline. Can only find one. Nyx is still very aware. Nearly actually went for that bomb plant, which means if that was denied, maybe that clutch is actually on for GBB. But 4 now needed for Fluxo as they continue to climb back here.
Okay, it's better than nothing. It is at least a start and maybe a bit of a conversation to be had here. But I'm really not going to be talking about a conversation about overtime until we get to the likes of maybe 12-10. I can start maybe opening that door a little bit. But at least that one was much better played. You know, do you see at the very least where maybe a chance to work with and potentially something to go forward for Fluxo. Success by making sure that might be the move going forward. LCM going to start well. Lukowski gets caught again. Unfortunately for him, continues to have a rough game here. Really rough game, especially by his standards. Statistically, that's been the best player on this side of the last few months. Unfortunately, been anything but here. Obviously, he's definitely doing a lot of the legwork. Credit to him, but it's just not been enough to make the side competitive.
They need to find another win condition, really. Gonna try to boost Art into window again, and he finds the necessary frag. Tries to bound his way for a second, but Destiny will clip his wings. 3v4 now that Fluxo continue to have to get past these man disadvantages. Connector control is all that they have. It has to be this A site, but it's right into the open arms of DRG. Huge kill for him to get. Zevi is there for the trade, but 45 seconds left on the clock.
Hang on.
Maybe.
Wait, they got to know Destiny's out, right? They've got to know, and they will, thankfully. For a moment, it looked like they're going to overlook that position. Thankfully, they don't. 30 seconds. Zevi's won, 2 kills back-to-back there. I'd have given them the chance, and Zevi going to see it off. What a time for him to really step up and come alive. Fluxo kept a flow here, just when it felt like they were actually on death's door. Maybe just a chance, because now that 12-10 is going to open up. I said that's maybe when potentially get towards the point of having a chance, and that might just be the case now. Because no buy round to come through here for Team Solid. They should get 10 without breaking too much of a sweat.
Yeah, at this point for Fluxo, I mean, you just gotta try to get this over the line. You're leaning on individuals to get you through these rounds, and doing it well. I mean, they're finding ways to win, and sure, it's not Lucalzi, but Zevi is there. And now Fluxo should be able to get themselves their 10th, no problem. Nyx, Art, they both chime in for a couple of quick kills, and Nyx will finish it off. So 2 rounds now needed Fluxo before now in overtime. And Solid will have another opportunity. Does LCM get that with the AWP? No, he doesn't. So this is basically that last-ditch effort for Team Solid to try and finish this off in regulation. And after that round from Zevi, I really don't know which way this one goes, considering you have that individual prowess ready and waiting.
Yeah, it's true. I'm really interested to see what we get coming forward for this side. I mean, at least for now, I mean, liking what I've been seeing out of Fluxo on these last couple. Keeping things competitive and he's making this a conversation. This is the big one though, isn't it? This round really feels like it could be sort of make or break territory. Lose this for Solid and we could be discussing the potential of an overtime, maybe. All very quiet though. We hit the 1:10 mark. There seems to be not a hell of a lot on offer, but we're grouping towards a B hit. Only actually one player here, and GBB is very aggro. Question is, are we contacting this, or are we going to flash him in? Flash him in is the play. He's in trouble. Down he goes. It's a foot race towards B, and Solid's going to lose this. I would save, yeah. Call it off. Oh, Destiny, just call it off.
He should be very happy that he's alive there. He should never be swinging in any kind of a situation. So, thank your lucky stars. Hold on to these 4 guns. If you're Fluxo, though, I say you go for the hunt. You try to find a way to clip as many of these weapons out from the side of Solid. And that's exactly what they're thinking. I mean, 3 players through the market window. You've got a player off of Catwalk. Solid are just going to try to hunker down here in Palace and hope that they can hold on to all 4 of these weapons. I don't necessarily know if they can, considering there's still a boatload of utility that the T side can dump into the Palace position. It's going to be very close, but this situation here might be deciding the fate of this entire map.
Oh my, this is such a big hunt. Destiny for 2, has to pull out the pistol, and he can't survive. Oh my. My God, what a hunt at the end there. Solid, questionable decisions, I think it's safe to say. And in the end, doesn't end up working out all too well for them. My God. We might be going towards overtime here, and Fluxo might be somehow what felt like a lost cause bailing themselves out at the end.
Brutal. Just brutal for Solid. Being in that kind of a situation, having so many chances to close out a map, but not being able to even hold on to the guns to get another shot at closing it. And now it's again another B call here from Art. They want to go charging in at Ale. Destiny does find one when the going gets tough. But, I mean, if that's not going to be it, it's got to be LCM. He steps up for one massive one on the back of the bomb site. He's just got to hold on strong. His teammates are all here to help deal with this situation, but nobody is able to find the necessary frags. Finally, Zevi breaks one through. The deadlock is snapped. Art with another DRG, fighting tooth and nail. And now it's just Art, but LCM will find the final frag. 22 kills from him. It took a grueling amount of time, but Solid do close it out. The B execution does not work, and Team Solid should really, really be happy with themselves.
Yeah, my God. What a chaotic way to end it, but all the same, that's all that we care about. Make sure that you take a map on the board. If it had gone towards overtime, I think Fluxo actually have a really good chance there, maybe even taking the match itself, but they don't let it get there. Team Solid, I think a lot of credit towards them. Really, really good showing. A very good second half in particular. Bar those last few rounds at the end where maybe things did crumble a little bit. I don't think you could be too upset with that. That is what I would call a pretty good underdog victory coming through, and I think Flux are a lot of mistakes creeping in. Some of the individuals not showing up the way that they should have, i.e., you hate to kind of beat a man while he's down, but Lucalzi, a pretty bad game out from that guy, and they really needed him.
Yeah, I need a bounce back from this guy, like, pronto, sincerely. I mean, this guy has a lot to give. He is a huge win condition for Fluxo in general. But we have another player to watch for you. Art was the guy that we had selected before the game, and I mean, he had a solid game. I mean, he's not kind of bouncing off the charts or anything like he has been in the last couple of months. But he got the job done. 83 ADR is enough in my eyes for the captain. It really just did come down to that second piece that we were discussing in Lucalzi.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think all in all, credit to Art. I don't think Ashley did too bad. And some of the calls towards the end were pretty good. But unfortunately, you can make all the calls you want, but just kind of can't hit the shot. Simple as that. We're going to throw this on to a break, though. We still have more Counter-Strike. We have another best of one to bring you. Same teams, of course. That is the system here. So sit tight as Flux taking on Team Solid. We'll be right back in just a moment with map number 2. Hello and welcome back. We said there's only going to be a little bit of a brief break before we get things back on the way. We got our second series, I guess you could call it, but it is basically the second map here in this same one. Team Solid take the first match of Mirage. Honestly, pretty handedly as well. It got a little bit close to the end. Very much had the opportunity of going towards an overtime, but I think we can look at that and say actually a really solid performance, for lack of a better term, out from Solid in the end with Fluxo. Just a lot of errors in towards this team that they really didn't show up in the way that we expect for them for a team of their caliber, and I think still leave us, as they sort of always do, Fluxo, with more question marks than answers.
Yeah, it's confusing, right? I mean, of course, you add in Kai to this equation. It's going to be a tough one to answer in general, but just fundamentally, this team just looked very disassociated with themselves. They didn't feel like an absolute unit in this game. And solid credit to them. I mean, you've got players that just understand the core of what they're trying to play very well. Rotations were very smart. LCM had a solid game from him, and DRG just got some very necessary frags across the game. Again, not the flashiest game from the newest edition, but he got the job done where it needed it most, and I've got to give them credit where credit is due. But we move over to the second map now. Solid would love themselves a 2-0. To get against a top dog, it would be fantastic to have. And for Fluxo, minimize the losses that are going on right now. Just try to get the split map and take it that way.
Exactly. Take the small wins, I guess you can call it, heading in towards. But yeah, I don't know. All in all, that Mirage really didn't give us a lot to love. I think, they really looked quite awkward at times. The big thing for me when we head in towards this kind of match number 2 is about how, like you said, how you mentally reset, how you bounce back. Because for Fluxo, we know that individually speaking, they have the individuals who can really make a change here. But it was actually those people that we'd normally look towards who didn't show up in the same way. Luke Halsey, pretty rough showing out from him, who's normally an ever-prevalent player in the server. Another obviously big conversation, similar to what we had with Mirage, is the veto heading in towards this second one. We are actually going to get a Vertigo coming out. And the big thing, there's like a bit of a change of the conversation here, is Mirage was on paper a very good map towards Fluxo, and one in which I'm sure they were very happy to see. End up losing it. On paper, Vertigo is actually a pretty good map out for Team Solid, and one which they'll be, pretty happy to play, in all fairness. These two sides have played quite a lot over the last few months, but Vertigo's never been a map which has been part of the veto. It's always been Mirage, Ancient, or Inferno. So a bit of a change up too, where maybe these sides are sort of adapting.
Well, look, man, DRG and Sharks used to be a fantastic Vertigo team. They had a lot of very interesting affairs at EPL. They kept it really close with Vitality. So, honestly, maybe he's brought on a little bit of experience, a little bit more of a complexion to add towards Solid's Vertigo, which has already been pretty good. So, I mean, you look at their record, I mean, they're doing pretty well for themselves. They've lost 3 of their last 9, which is not bad at all. Their losses are against some solid teams. They lose against Sharks, Case, and a Crew, which I think is probably the worst of the 3 losses. But
sure,
for the most part, I think they've shown that they can hang around the competition on this map. And on the other end of the equation, I've also seen a lot of kind of teething issues with how Fluxo approached Vertigo. I don't feel like it's the most comfortable map in the pool for them.
It's true, and this is where things can get a little awkward. Especially, Vertigo seems to be a map in which a lot of teams are now starting to sort of veer away from. It feels like a very awkward map in the pool. Basically, everybody hates it, right? Nobody has ever liked it, if we're being completely honest, right? And honestly,
I feel like even more than before, right?
Yes, right. And it seems to be getting worse. This is the thing. I think everyone's starting to pile on the hate train, but it's not a hate train where people are just sheep. Everyone's just realizing this map actually really has not a lot to offer up. And, once again, probably reiterating, especially with the recent changes of where they got rid of Overpass, which, at least for me personally, was a cool map to watch at a pro level because it was tactically very deep. And then bringing in Dust 2 rather than changing out Vertigo, I think probably now showcases where, a lot of people spoke about this, and it's very easy to talk about at the time, but I agree with the sentiments that this is probably the worst map pool we maybe ever had, I would say. I think it's probably up there. For me, I don't like Inferno personally. I think it's very boring to watch, very boring to play. I think Dust 2 is dreadful, both to play and to watch. And then Vertigo is not a great map either. So you've got kind of 3 maps which are generally widely regarded as at least polar in terms of their opinions. And it's never a good sign when all people really want, call it nostalgia or what, is maps like Train, maps like Cash. People really hate. No one had any qualms with Overpass, really. So, I don't know. Bit weird. This is a veto, which I think is a bit of a rare one. In best of ones, especially going down towards Vertigo, you don't really see it these days.
I'd love Train back in the pool to replace Vertigo or Dust, just because that map was so tactically sound. It really rewarded teams that had good strategy, and it gave depth to the pool, right? And you add in Cash, and I think that map, while it is a very puggy one, it does still require good fundamental understanding of like how to play together as a team, how to play the T side as together as a unit. It is a really interesting map for sure, and I think the port, while it isn't the most fundamentally sound, it still had a lot to be excited about for sure. Still, because fundamentally the map is good. So I'm with you. I think this is one of the worst map pools we've ever had, if not ever. And I hope this changes can come. But the silver lining here, after all of this doom and gloom, is that for teams that are underdogs, they have openings towards these maps that are not liked by the top squads. And Vertigo is one of those maps. I think in North America, a lot of teams are trying to do that in Tier 1. Like Complexity have been trying to opt in for Vertigo a lot of the times, and they've been successful with it. M80 have tried it at their hand as well. Eternal Fire are trying to get out of their slump with it. So there's a lot of different squads in Tier 1 that are trying to pounce on this opportunity. Some are working, some aren't. And maybe for Solid at this level, they can actually punish Fluxo. And I hope that they can, because I think it's a risky one, but it's one that can pay off for them.
Yeah, do you want to hear a little unpopular opinion while we wait for everybody's getting the server as well? I actually don't think they should bring back Train or Cash or Cobble or anything of the sort, because I think they should add new maps. New game, new maps, test the system, test the engine. However, I'm a big fan of Train and Cash. I think they're very, very fun maps. But I like something new. I thought, when Anubis came in, that's the sort of thing where I was like, maybe this is for the future where community-made maps.
To Anubis.
Yeah, and I think these days it's one of the more fun maps. I mean, it's the only map which we see is inherently T-sided, which is a bit of a change to the pool. It's a little bit different in terms of its game plan, and we see it actually tactically at the top level played quite a fun way. It's quite a cool one. It's definitely one of those maps that I never kind of ever grown about when I have to commentate it, unlike a Dust 2, really, where like, every time I have to commentate it, I'm like, God damn it, like this is gonna be so gruelingly slow and all the rest. Of course, we have our predictions heading in towards this one, and this was prior to the veto, but it doesn't change things here really for us. We're still leaning in favor of Fluxo. We had them for our map number 1, and obviously they lost, but on paper they are the better side. They just didn't really show up in towards map number 1.
Yeah, I think at least where I'm at when I made this prediction, I was like, look, I'm not going to change it just because of the map result, even if Solid are potentially favored as far as the veto is concerned. We as analysts cannot do that. We do not flip-flop.
It's true.
And that is just something that we have to stick to our guns here. However wrong we might be, we must stay stoic with our opinions. So,
it's true.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think hopefully that was just a one-off for Fluxo, especially from Lukowski. I think he had a 1.18 rating across the last 3 months. Absolute stinker of a map 1, which is not what you like to see from him. Honestly, I can actually pull up the rating that he had here. 0.56. It might have been one of the lowest rated maps that he's had ever, I'm assuming. So need a lot from him today, and I really hope that he can bounce back, because we've seen how much he can give to the space, how much of a talent he is for the Brazilians. So I'm hoping that he can turn it around.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I really just think there was just, unfortunately, really not a lot to offer up, but he's normally one of the main players we look towards in terms of firepower. So who knows? But either way, we're going to head on the way in towards our second match here. Oh my God, we're definitely underway towards it. 1v3. Hang on a second, 1v2. Zevi will fall. Paladin, it seems like we may have missed a little bit here.
I guess so. Fluxo now in the 2v1 will get themselves that bomb planted, as GBB realizes that this is not the site that he should be dealing with. Double swing coming through, and that's just bad timing. GBB doesn't even spot ahead in that situation. He just gets absolutely sideswiped. So it looked to me, based off of the X's of the map, Fluxo went for an all-out B attack, and they split the kills down the middle, and instead of trying to continue into the B bomb site, they rerouted back to A, where they found another couple of kills and then planted the bomb, and GBB couldn't clutch.
Well, Fluxo, good start for them. They're going to be pretty happy to take, that seems to have like a slight tech issue before we get back underway. But yeah, either way, I think the way we look at it now, where Fluxo, it seems like they've at least sort of reclaimed a little bit of that favor. It was a bit of a rough showing at that tail end, bar a couple of rounds. At least now, you get a sort of a pistol. You obviously should get a force buy here as well. We shouldn't have too many issues heading towards this. That's what should be a bit of a freebie, if I'm being completely honest.
You don't believe in the singular P250?
That's asking a lot. The thing is, though, I've seen crazier. I've seen full USPs. I actually saw one in an EU game. I can't remember who it was now, but it was all of about maybe a week and a half ago. Full USPs running out against rifles. It was pretty bad. They overwhelmed. USPs got one rifle, and then the AK ended up getting like 3 kills. It was pretty bad. This one doesn't seem to be the case, though. As Ale will fall, and it'll be a second for Fluxo. Not bad.
Well, hey, that B250 did get a kill, so he did his job. He got his.
True.
And now Solid get their guns out. What do they have in store here against Fluxo's T side? One that can get very dangerous, especially on a map like Vertigo when they start to get the hot hand. I have seen them get very dangerous when players like Art, players like Lukowski as well, that can just really get fired up with that aggression. But now Solid, I'm going to have to find a way to quell said aggression as Kai goes bounding through their own smoke on the bottom of the B stairs and takes a hell of a lot of damage in the process.
Spam. GBB. Find too much here. The damage straight into the smoke. Ollie's a lucky man to still be alive. They want to barrel in towards that B side. Oak smoke comes out for Fluxo. So they're trying to make a move in. They actually get some pretty good space too. Need to be a little careful. Can't allow them to get in towards the side. Molotov on towards back flat. YoG has nowhere to escape to. He couldn't go left. He knew he had to stick around. He reloads in the open. He gets spammed down by Nyx.
Not the most optimal way to start out your first buy round, considering Ale is now also tagged up. Fluxo have got a lot of time and space to maneuver around this map. They're thinking about formulating to this A bomb site, and that would be not a bad one. There is a crossfire still available between LCM as well as GBB, and it's a dink for GBB. Not a kill, though, and that's what they really needed there. LCM might be the thorn in the side, but even he can only find a mere bullet. This is fantastic work from Fluxo. Just heads up plays, really confident in their individuals, and they found themselves in a bomb site.
Ale, he's so low here. Any swing, he's surely a dead man walking. Down he falls. Just like that, Destiny's going to keep hold of what he's got, but no chance that he's giving this one a look in. It's just a job about now trying to keep this M4 alive, and looks like maybe he might be hunted at the end here. Oh my god, no way. Nyx looks everywhere but to him. I can't believe it.
And now they're thinking he's gone to B or something? I don't know why Zevi was just running up the stairs like that, but sure. It works out in the end. They still only take 2 casualties. Fluxo will go up 3-0. And now Solid will have to take another save. So this T side already revving to life here for Fluxo. And again, they're doing it without Lukowski having to really do anything. All the entries are coming forward from Art. And they're just really moving around the map very efficiently right now.
Yeah, lots to like from Fluxo. They look a lot better than what we saw in map number 1. Especially the way things started in map number 1 too. They were so uncomfortable. You know, the word I was using back then was timid and tepid in terms of the way they approached their T-side Counter-Strike. It's not been the same here. They actually are playing a lot of confidence. A lot of these entries are coming through, and a lot of the individuals that we normally want to see are stepping up, i.e. Zevi, Art, guys who like to get up proactive, like to get up in your face. No, Gauzy, somebody who has been a little quiet today. Gonna get his ecos, get those stats up, King. Never mind. Gets caught by the Teagle. That 2's not bad, I guess. The last 2 are known towards Ram. You take him. He's got his.
He's positive, so that's a start. And now GBB will try to hold on to this AK. Zevi is still very keen that they're still on ramp, but they're much closer. And he still reorients nonetheless. GBB will not be able to hold on to it. DRG now tasked with finding a double, but he'll only find the 1. So Fluxo keep that clean sheet alive. Only 2 casualties. Really, the bank balance is swelling now as well. So everything looks peachy keen to start out for the T side. Solid really backs up against the wall. And another round where LCM will not have that AWP. So that mobility and that fluidity that Fluxo is showing right now will continue to go unpunished. I'd like to think if there's no sniper involved.
Yeah, that's true. Molotov. Smoke on top of it too. Looking like they want to fight in towards B stairs. Ale could get one. The spam is good. I mean, when he takes down Kai a little bit, Nate comes behind it. Will do a hell of a lot more as Kai basically starts this round out at 25 points of HP.
Brutal stuff there for Kai. But he'll hold on to that B stairs control at the very least. And now, Solid will be very happy with this early round, even without knowing this information. Considering now they have top ramp control, they're peering down the bottom of B stairs as well. And now they've got themselves a re-smoke for the top of ramp. DRG can now slide in. If you want to spam down range, you can. I wouldn't really advise it with the A4, but here's a kill that could be teed up for him. Art shimmying his way up that tarp and not actually giving the frag over. There's a late crunch coming in from Solid, though. LCM, DRG, all looking to pounce alongside GBB. But where does the kill go first? Oh, the turn away from Art, and he can't find the kill. It's Zevi to do it instead. Look at LCM go, though.
He's loving it. LCM with a double. I mean, Art's tagged. Nyx isn't exactly healthy either. This is the perfect time for Solid to get their first round. However, Nyx is starting to make a bit of a creep move out towards B. Did step, but I think they're far enough away that he wouldn't have been heard. Smoke down, which he'll use to then cross. Jumping up on double stack too. I don't hate this. Gets fully blinded by his team's flash, but decides to stay elevated regardless. Time ticking, fellas. Got to get this bomb down. And because of where they planted, it actually does go down safely. They don't swing out left side yet. They swing right side. So he should get his plant. But that's all they'll get. Last man left alone. Art tagged as well. One above the smoke. No more behind it. Surely. And he gets spammed down through it. So Solid. Taking a while, but in the end, they'll finally get their first run on the board in the CT. Made to work for it, but they'll get it all the same.
Yeah, another awkward spray there from Lakowski. On his best days and even on his average days, I think he gets those. It's just unorthodox. It's sad that he's not completely up to the mark there, but they make it close regardless. Fluxo find a way to get significant casualties. They've still got quite a bit of money to spend, meaning that Solid still have a lot of pressure on themselves to start to chain together rounds. And them only keeping 2 men alive means, look at that. I mean, you still have triple digits only on a couple players here.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is where Solid, obviously getting that round's huge for them, but I still feel like generally a lot of the pressure still remains on their shoulders. Not even in terms of just catching things up. They lose this round, they're immediately reset. That Fluxo will know this. Not a good start. DRG going to get a double. Actually, no, I guess to support a GBB, but both of them going to fall regardless to the hands of Lakowski. So LCM going to dip out of there. He doesn't want to fall 6 feet under like his fallen friends, and this 3 versus 3 looks a little bit more spicy. Ale spots one. Nyx. Good space on towards B in that previous round. And once again, try it here. Spams with the smoke to no avail. Just try and get some space, and he might just get it. That smoke that gets broken open by the nade gains him space towards back of Gen.
Nade up for Kai. Again, low HP in this kind of a situation. They want to try and get this bomb down, but Ale is very close up to this smoke. Oh my goodness. Oh, the jump is not there. And I think Ale was actually blocking the chance to jump up onto that ledge. And that spells disaster for Fluxo in the 2vx. Oh, goodness me. Solid have found a way to rejig themselves into this game. And sure, they get those 2 openers from DRG, but it's really the side anchors on that B-bomb site that hold strong instead.
Yeah, I mean, really, the absolute sort of funny thing that could have happened there, really, is I think it was Nyx who obviously gets caught jumping. So he just jumped over him, used him as a boost coming through. He actually gets very close. He was so perplexed as to why he couldn't get through. Unfortunately, that jump cost him his life. Still a little bit too giddy to fight there, Nyx. Solid kept afloat. Nade goes deep. Only a tiny bit of chip damage. Arley's fine, however, isn't. Kai. Having a bit of a bad map here, Kai. Not exactly being the showing that he's wanted. And so far, obviously, becoming a little bit awkward to watch. Obviously, towards that previous map for him. Didn't get super active. 0.98 rating. Not exactly anything too special.
A very slow method here from Fluxo. But they'll still encroach upon that A ramp nonetheless. GBB will not be aware of how close Lukowski can be. He's got his crosshair in the right position, though. But, yeah, again, just not as keyed in to that position as you might have thought. A lot of space now being taken for Fluxo. Solid nades, good Molotov. DRG caught between a rock and a hard place. And he'll fall after the 1-for-1. 35 seconds left on the clock. And Fluxo eventually, I'd like to think, have to commit to this A play.
LCM. Oh, hang on a moment. If he fades through the smoke, he should get 2 here for free. Oh, one of them's dead, but he'll get the bomb, which is more important. Last player over towards yellow, but Lukowski sort of slipped the net himself. It's a bit of a timing play. That smoke behind him starting to fade, but Destiny, the smoke in front of him, still got a little bit of life left in it. Lukowski, what are we doing here? He tries to fade through the smoke, and Destiny just holds. Patience is a virtue, and which pays off for Solas. They will get their third, make it a 1-run game. Most importantly, T-side economy broken.
It's the hardest way possible back into the game. 3 back-to-back buy rounds necessary before they could erode that T-side economy, and they find a way to do it. Credit to them. These are the hardest to string together, and they find a way to do it. Managing the A side and the B side, making sure that there are no to exploit for Fluxo. And now with this save, they're just going to try to bound their way up the ramp. Maybe pace is the solution for this T side, but instead they just get a face full of shrapnel and 2 players on sub 50 HP.
All right. LCM at range. Get a chance. So I said a couple. Speaking of isolating, GBB gets a double there with ease. Zevinov both caught in the jump off. LCM still holding at range. Doesn't capitalize on this opportunity, but a resmoke in towards short will basically that GBB gets complete control here for free. Doesn't have to do all too much. Just continue to hold in case they do anything cheeky. Tapping away. There's LCM with that double. We knew it was coming eventually. That round doesn't even get remotely off the ground towards Fluxo. I mean, to be honest, I bet you do enough damage to make it even worthwhile talking about. Super simple. Fluxo, no. They have to call a pause. They're in, they're feeling quite a bit of pressure now.
Yeah, definitely so. It doesn't feel like they're getting any sort of stability with those buy rounds, let alone this eco here. And Fluxo will take that first tack timeout. Understandably so. There's a lot to discuss at this point, considering they've lost 3 buy rounds in a row, and it never looked very close in any of them, to be honest with you.
All right. Tack timeout done. And now we get to come back to maybe something to work with for Fluxo. But the awkward thing is well, Solid, started a little bad. Is now we've started to get to a point where Solids are spiraling again, as they did in towards that first match. It could be sort of things getting very uncomfortable once again. Early nade is really good. First fight, pretty favorable over towards the T side. So Fluxo done great early damage here. If LCM and GBB find themselves very low.
Slow down now for Fluxo. Instead of opting in for that A ramp control, they're considering B stairs too, but Art will make that sound cue to suggest they are here, ready and rearing to go. Minute 5 on the clock, as there isn't really a decision made just yet by Fluxo. Still feeling out the map, and Ale, straight through the smoke, just clips Kai's wings, doesn't allow him to get any sort of space up the B stairs. And that might actually goad in a third rotation in for Solid. This B play looks to stop right in its tracks.
LCM. Close. As Ale spams the smoke, gets one. LCM going to go completely unchecked there. He's gone past them. He's let them up. Oh my god, LCM.
Oh, no.
He's holding a great angle if it was 10 seconds ago. Where are we going?
What?
Where are we going? He's made noise. Where's he going? LCM. What information have they got? I can't believe it. It has to be just Art. Art's just baited.
That's it.
LCM, what are we doing, mate? What are we doing? What is the call there? He's just had a teammate get a kill on a guy top stairs, and he runs away. I mean, yeah, he gets his kill, but
it's too late.
Yeah, it feels like it. However, the 2v4 is still doable for Solid just because of the numbers alone.
Well, they're gonna go charging in. Zebi has to get pincered, and he doesn't find anything. And he's Lukowski in the clutch, a lot of low HP bars. He's actually hit the diffuser, and he lives on 1 HP, and Solid have enough time to defuse. What the actual hell was that? I cannot believe I just witnessed that round of play. Put that one on CS Unfortunate Events or whatever, that Twitter account.
Yeah.
We need that posted pronto.
Unironically, maybe one of the rounds of all times, but you know, like, not for like the right reasons. That was they woefully stumbled into a win there, Solid. I don't think there's no way they could watch that back and be like, I'm happy with how that went. You got the round, but no way. Oh my god. What a round, indeed. Either way, though, still, we're not, you know, either side are under too much pressure just yet. It's a 5-4 game. It's still pretty even, all in all. Both sides got to buy out and towards this one. So I guess we can't be completely upset with how things are.
Yeah, it's one of the rounds that I think I just will try to forget as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because there was no real winner of that round. But beyond that, Fluxo looking to get ramp control again. GBB this time with some aggression down the ramp. This angle is always a toughie to actually clear out, but Lukowski and Art double down very easily. Solid now pushed away from that ramp position means that the T side can encroach increasingly upon this A bomb site. They're doing very well. They've got a late mid lurk in Kai as well. This can get very dangerous for Solid very quickly. They've got to find a way to shave off some T players before this gets really ugly.
The RG falls. This round becomes very difficult, Lukowski. Gonna get one more. Oh my, this starts to get really, really awkward. Oh, I get that jumping. Just as he's jumping. Oh, of course he does. I wouldn't expect anything less. And it might still be on air as well. Ole and LCM might try and give this a go. However, deep CT smoke going to make this pretty awkward.
I don't really think it's viable. And it doesn't seem that Ale is either. LCM falls on his fall back to spawn. And Ale will hold on to this AK-47. Has another duel incoming against Art if he wants to pop his head out, but instead he will take the peaceful option in this state and hold on to that gun. Oh, just kidding. Violence is the answer apparently. So
always
5-5 reads the score, and Fluxo find something to hang their hat on after just an abysmal string of rounds before this.
All right. Survival. This game tied all square, and definitely a weird situation. It becomes a little tough to call. I don't know what my expectations are kind of now for what has been very back and forth sort of game. But again, at least we're still getting buys out here into the floating round. Arley for that first. Make sure to get caught. Oh, like doubles down. Nice find on towards Kai, who continues to have a really bit of a tough game. He gets his third kill there, but I'm not even crediting it to him. It's a Molotov. I don't know, Arley just steps into it. I don't actually know why, in all fairness. He knew it was there.
Yeah.
He sort of looked at it and then was like, I'm a little chilly. Let's warm me up. Either way, round taken by Solid. This is a very scrappy game, I think is what we're trying to get at here.
Might be taking notes from Nexa, but that's not what he does well, man. I mean, you shouldn't be trying to copy that. That's the wrong thing to do, I think. But Fluxo, they cannot get it done. Ale does very well there, even with all that Molotov shenanigan aside. And now looking to potentially get themselves 7 rounds on the CT side. After what looked like a very promising start from Fluxo, a complete rejuvenation of sorts. You know, you had Lucalzi finally chiming in. It's all been kind of ripped away ever since they've lost that economic advantage. They're just going to Hail Mary here on this B side and hope that they can dislodge Ale.
Ale gets one. Smoke down towards back 90 as well, so stays alive. Smoke towards front side to give them a bit of space to work with. Here comes behind it. Doesn't do a hell of a lot. Ale just stays alive. And the thing is, the longer Ale stays here without actually properly being cleared, the longer they'll probably overlook him. Still fighting behind that smoke. Art, Zevi, one. He will be cleared finally by Art at the end. He was so low. And DRG makes move himself. Art gets caught. Quick trade by Lucalzi. What a weird round once again. And it thrusts LCM into a tough 1v2. You can opt for the 5-7 to do it as well. Zevi and Lucalzi left. All goes quiet.
I have to cut that noise. It's going to start sowing the seeds of doubt into LCM's mind that maybe they've pushed up a little bit closer. I mean, that bomb is still stuck at the back pillar. Meaning there's still time for LCM to reorient if he wants to. And he's just going to wait for the tap, basically, at this point. And there comes that plant. Sound cue's given over. He knows that it's not an A fake. And the nade is a very solid onto Lucalzi. But with this AWP, HP doesn't even matter. Lucalzi knows that it's LCM in the clutch. He's going to try to cut the distance. There's a gap in the smoke, but the no-scope is landed from LCM. Switches over to the AK. Now it's up v up, but it's on the rifles, no less. Kit available for LCM. He still has an opportunity to potentially tap and goad him out, but that sound cue is given. The jig is up. Zevi should know he's very close. This should be his every day of the week, but LCM is there. 8 HP to spare. 7 rounds, the good for Team Solid at the tail end of the half. Fluxo scampering. Can they bounce back? We'll have to wait for that second half.
Alrighty, welcome back. Second half underway, and 7-5 is where we find ourselves. Solid with a pretty good lead, all things considered, but now head on towards the arguably much harder T side. This is going to be a bit of a difficult one to get going, and this is where, as well, on the other side, for Fluxo, they don't get a pistol here. They can already be in a really, really tough spot. We could talk about potentially this getting to where for Solid, they could have like a 9-5. Get a pistol, force buy, already under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, super important here in the scope of things. We saw the amount of momentum that a pistol can grant for Fluxo. It actually is the 4 rounds that they were able to get of their 5 on the T side. So let's see if Solid can have another spell of their own. They're going to go 4 players out middle, or 3 players out middle. A nade is immense onto Kai. LCM will also find another. It's really only Nyx on the site, and he can't find one before he falls. So it's a 3v2 for Solid, and they should be aware that both of these CTs are here. It's a very difficult retake for Fluxo to go through.
It is, especially with that right side gen smoke. Now it's faded. Might give them a chance to work with Arley. Other ideas, though. Zevi gets caught, and Bob's your uncle. We should be done here. Couple of fights have been taken. Lukowski's gonna get caught. Good night, Sunshine. See you later. 8-5, and that's exactly the sort of start we wanted to see out from Solid. Keep this T side, keep this kind of momentum, but in towards this T side and keep it ticking over. Now, big decision to be made to Fluxo. We force bang here, we not. I don't like a force bang on the CT side, and it looks like they are not going to go for that decision. So I can get behind that. Solid. It's that 9-5 that I spoke of. Should be more or less guaranteed here.
Yeah, definitely so. Fluxo realized that this is not a time to get fancy with these force buys. Let's just get the guns out instantaneously. They'll pick up a Galil as well. And I think Solid now just want to go charging into that B bomb site. I don't like this call, to be completely honest with you, considering you just saw them all mid, but if they're able to get kills like these and entries, it should be no problem.
Nice. Nade does a hell of a lot of damage there. Got a Galil. No longer got a Galil. Just immediately gets Mac 10, and that's money for GBB. He's a happy man. Look how's he got a Zeus. It's a bit of an unorthodox angle.
Pack it up.
Yeah, yeah. Put the fries in the bag, buddy. This one's not happening. This one's
Just
not happening.
put the fries in the bag.
This one's not happening. It's an unorthodox angle, though. I'll give him that. Especially,
yeah,
it might get overlooked, but there's also, like, on the other side, there's
why would they come here?
Yeah, there's no reason to hunt. You know what I mean? Like, they just don't have any need to. They know they haven't got the Galil because they killed the Galil with the Mac 10. So he saves his Zeus. Fair. And Team Solid get a 9th. 4 on lead.
You'll get him next time, buddy. You will. Yeah. Trust me.
All right. Well, a 4-round buffer is pretty good. Pretty good for Solid. And now the first gun round to come out for Fluxo. Lose this. We're talking about Solid getting up towards 11. That's already where things get potentially done and dusted.
Yeah. Huge ramifications for this round here. Solid now posted up for a 4-player lead. Destiny has got some flashers lined up to completely blindside Nyx. And if he's not careful, he's going to get just pantsed here on this B site. But he actually just has a nade out in his hand. There is no flash necessary. That comes out a little bit later. And this spacing is just so solid for Solid. They get themselves all the way up to that site proper with 3 kills to their name. They are looking so clean right now to start off this second half.
And for now, too, things start to drift a little bit away. Big question has to be kind of asked about Fluxo. We need to see probably attack pause and a conversation to be had here, but spotted. Dinks. Lukowski, lucky. Get away with that. I think they just want to get out of here. Lukowski's sort of panicking to Art, saying, like, move, man. I'm 1 HP and they're hunting me. Could actually be in a bit of trouble. Flashbang around the corner. Does Art even get cleared here? Yes, but inefficiently is Art going to get both. So he'll just about stay alive for Art. That was a bonus round. And actually, like, no, what are we doing? What are we doing, LCM?
Oh my god!
Get it. Oh my god, what is this game? What is this game? How?
Yeah,
has he got
I
that?
don't think we've got a single sane game in our entire time
Ever.
of casting together.
But like,
it is.
every round in this game doesn't really. There's something which doesn't make sense.
Yes. Wow. Talk about Twilight Zone, man. This is just a bizarre series of events on Vertigo. And now Art has Rage bought an A1S after that. That's the only explanation I can give you, man. That's a tilt buy right there.
Let's be honest, there's no such thing as a hero M4 on S. It's just not how it works. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, this is so rough, isn't it? So tough to see. Solid are absolutely rent-free in Fluxo's head. Front stairs smoke. Naid goes onto the back plat. LCM going to get another kill. And who does he drop? The Rage bought and 4. And he could add more to it as well. GBB going to get 1. Looks for a second. Actually won't get caught by Lucauzi, who picked up that M4A1S. And Zeffy on the edge of the smoke gets a USPS kill. Oh, hang on. This round's on.
Yeah, definitely so. But unfortunately for them, Ale has snuck all the way through to the bottom of heaven. Takes out Zevi. Lucauzi, I mean, it's a 1v2, sure, but you've got no kit and very little time, or at least dwindling time at this point. He's still going to go for it. His shot has been watched by his teammate. What a shot onto DRG, but the trade was always going to be there. 11 rounds look good for Solid. They've got one more buy to get through. Zevi will get out a sniper, but Neo, at this point, this team is just too fast to catch up to.
It's true. It's very, very true. I just don't think it's going to happen, is it? Really solidly done here. And for Fluxo, there's just not been anything to talk about. Map number 1 wasn't great, and map number 2 is sort of got worse. There's been so little on offer. Credit to Solid, they have looked really, really brilliant. Shot is mighty close, but this shot, ultimately, second shot is exactly the same for Zevi. Feeling the pressure, third chance, not great. Fourth chance, even worse. Oh, that sort of sums up what we've seen. It's a 2v5 immediately.
Oh, that's ugly. And yeah, GBB overextends, but whatever. I mean, you've got yourself a 4v2. You have just blindsided this B bomb site. Kai has had a really tough go about things, as well as Zevi in that round specifically. 4 bullets just completely whizzing past the T side. And I think you're right, man. It really does sum up this map in a nutshell for Fluxo. What started out as something very promising, 4-0 up, the next, 16 rounds? Or sorry, 12 rounds of play? Only 1 nabbed. Truly just brutal scenes.
That really is super, super awkward. Solid credit to them. They really have had little to no mistakes most of the way through this. I don't think there's really anything you can say in sort of a negative note. This is a side who have played great Counter-Strike and are looking to close this with ease. We are going to buy out here for Fluxo, but I don't know. This side just feel full tilted, don't they? They just nothing seems to be going their way at all. I have a very, very slow games up.
Oh.
Damn, boys, what is happening? Let me just volley myself real quick. Nade comes over, and that'll actually just completely give away Nix's position that they know he's close wood. Thankfully, we'll avoid the nade and the molly. It's okay, but Ollie's had actually some great success moving up through B stairs.
Oh, he's had Fluxo's number and then some. I mean, you can see the polar opposite score lines between Ale and Nix. It really tells the tale as to how that B bomb site has unfolded. And now, Team Solid, what is the game plan here? They're going to throw an A Molotov, I do believe. That's for side hall. And they're going to try to pounce towards that ramp position. But I mean, I think they're still very stoic on this B bomb site as well. And Fluxo have made a solid read. 3 players here, but that being said, they've also had 3 players in a couple rounds previous, and that didn't matter.
It's very true. Made more or less little to no difference. The entry pathing has normally been very, very good. However, at MP9, going to get 3. Destiny, still looking to stick around for now. 1v3, GBB, all to do. Feels pretty unlikely. So maybe finally Fluxo get around, which is something to go off.
Maybe, just maybe. But at this point, it's saving face for Fluxo. Because to get 2-0'd by Solid this close to the close qualifier for the RMR, it does not spell happiness, to say the least. This is the team that is expected to qualify to that prestigious event.
It's true.
And to do it comfortably, you know?
Oh, very true. Okay, all right.
Maybe after time.
Yeah, that is awkward. He's on 1.2k, so unfortunately, I think he can get a drop over there, if I'm right in saying, and he will, yeah. So Naked going to come through. So at least that's okay. Does still have a gun to work with. Long term, he got a little rough over towards Fluxo. Surd. So losing this round may potentially put them under a bit of pressure where Fluxo can spiral positively, but it's if they lose this round. Yeah, it's awkward. We'll see. Spam. Unsuccessful. Was a bit of a tag there by Arley on towards Kai, but it doesn't do a hell of a lot of damage. That nade does, though.
Yeah, it is significant. But not a frag just yet. LCM still has got himself trained on that ramp. No kill found just yet. Well, here comes a little bit of a boost. It gives you an opportunity to get 1 kill and fall away. And they make that jump up silent as well. They should absolutely find themselves one. I'd be shocked if it didn't, and yeah, there it is. They disassemble as quick as can be, bound back into the A bomb site, and they make Solid really rethink their decisions now with 50 seconds left on this clock.
Kazi. Look up on the edge of that smoke that can spot the crossing towards sandbags. It's looking pretty okay for now for Fluxo. Time ticking. Solid don't have a hell of a lot of time to work with. Arley gets an important kill. Swing. Missed shot by the orb, but somehow doesn't get punished. And DRG gonna find Lucazi. That is a really laboured spray from him. Art gets one in the zone. Hit over towards Tetris. Does a decent chunk on towards the IGL. As Heavy tucks himself in towards short. Time is ticking. There's another lot of it. And now all down to one. Arley for all to do. Unfortunately, this one's probably dead here. Damage dealt on towards him. The round itself is done. It will be Fluxo finding a 7th and slightly keeping alive in this match.
Yeah, I didn't feel as though they deserved that round after, LCM lived for as long as he did. But regardless, Art is there to pick up the pieces. He finds a very necessary double leading from the front. We've talked about him as our impact player, our Kadia player to watch, and he absolutely is so far as this comeback is concerned. Solid will take a timeout now to discuss their finances. I think they're probably going to want to take a save here. They've still got a couple of buys to chew through before we really start to get nervy about this best of one. And, for all intents and purposes, they've still been able to close it out in regulation, as we saw in Mirage.
It's true. It's very true. Either way, pause done. Conversation to be had, and not a hell of a lot to work with here for Solid. A hero AK, barely, and probably not even going to be upgraded pistols. So this one just going to amount to nothing, really. And we should see a pretty simple 8th put on the board. Unless Arley does some heroics. If Arley can find an opening kill, drop a rifle, somebody else picks it up. That's me brainstorming here. That's just how maybe something might work out. But Molly, nade combo down towards deep ramp. Nade actually not thrown just yet, so I'm going to try and get up close here. Nade will come through. Bit of shit down towards LCM, and he gets spammed down to 3 points of HP. Lucky to stay alive, but he'll get out of it.
He threw for Nyx here. Should be a slam dunk onto Ale, and it definitely is onto DRG. They've been trying really hard to boost that player up, and unfortunately, Just that nade combo spells doom and gloom for the Solid side. This round will not be the end of Vertigo just yet, I like to think. And they're just going to continue to maneuver around this map, hoping that they can find a straggling CT. Art should be able to clean things up here, right now. He's got the shadow advantage, gets 2 on the way out. And now Lukowski will aggress down the ramp. GBB, Ale, they've got themselves equipped with the AK-47s, but not enough spacing to do it. So 8 found for Fluxo, and we cut the lead down to 4.
Yeah, all right. Now maybe still something to work with. However, on the other side, and this is still the big thing, and the sort of issue in a sense when you look at where Fluxo are trying to reclaim space and get back in towards this game, this time the other, is that no matter which way you flip it, no matter which way you look at it, you're still playing heavy catch-up, and any mistake, any issue, and, you know, sort of Team Solid can just sort of fumble across the line and kind of trip up and still get it. So there's no room for error for Fluxo, and they've made plenty of them so far at this game. This one, 1-for-1, terrible in the early part of this game. However, will they expect Art in exactly the same position that Lukowski was just died from? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. But they're still gonna try and figure this out here. Heavy does find one more. Destiny will fall. And now it's just this B play. Solid. Really a last-ditch effort of sorts. Even after getting that opening pick. But they still find another one. Nyx will go down. It's Kai and Zevi on the site. Kai finds nothing. And now it's just Zevi. He's been flashed in. But DRG finds another heady. 2v1. Blink and you miss it. 50 seconds left on the clock. They've got so much time to reorient if they want to. And I think GBB is considering staying put while DRG tries to plant that bomb on A. Unorthodox approach in a 2v. Maybe it might work.
Yeah, they're just so low, I think, right? I think you do have to do something a little different. But then they double back. So they sell the fakes that they're running back towards A. Art hasn't fallen for the bait. He's still sticking up. I think he realizes that it's all part of the plan. We have a smoke. Bomb. Gonna go down. Art. He has the U-tool. Nate gonna come in. He'll get the kill. Oh my god, it doesn't!
No!
How is it not got the kill? Molotov as well. Can't even force out a fight. And now we have a bit to work with. Smoke gonna come down. Double flash to come behind it as well. Art. Oh my. He's playing inside of the smoke here. DRG. This is genius. He surely gets away with it. And he will. DRG's played that to perfection. Take a bow. And Solid's going to take another match. 13-7 map 1, 13-8 map 2. Brilliant work from Solid in what I would call a massive upset here. For Fluxo, who want to be seen as sort of, you know, heavy hitters and big dogs here in South America, that's not the performance you want at all. These you know, no disrespect to Solid, but we'd expect Pain and teams like maybe MRBR to take them sort of every day of the week. At least get it 1-1-for-1. Going 0-2 against them, not good enough. Fluxo, they've still got a lot of inherent issues for me for them to even be remotely seen as a top South American side.
Yeah, and I mean, we have that key player to watch in Art, and he definitely led by example. Was pretty much the sole reason why they were ever close in that game. Sure. Right next to Lukowski, but it just wasn't enough, and that cohesion wasn't there. Unfortunately, you have to compare apples to apples. I'm comparing Kai to DRG. The amount of impact that DRG had on his end of the equation was so immense, where I think Kai's got a lot of work to do, and we'll definitely get to see whether or not it comes back to haunt Fluxo as the season continues. But as far as this broadcast is concerned, we're all done and dusted. It's been a long day of Counter-Strike, and still a little bit more to go. We've still got North American CS right around the corner. You don't want to miss it. We'll take a little bit of an extended break, and we'll be back with some more CS action.
Bye.